This Pat's tutors Scientia Ipsa Potentia.
Hello everyone, you're welcome to Biology Video Lecture Series with Akerele Oladimeji Philip, coming straight from Science Part Tutors Nigeria. On today, we'll be talking about Kingdom Animalia, the last kingdom in our taxonomy series. You will see that Kingdom Animalia is taken as the last kingdom because it's believed to be the last kingdom to have evolved in evolution. So Kingdom Animalia has 9 phyla. The plural of phylum is phyla. The first phyla is Porifera. So what I want to tell you is that though there has been a lot of controversies over which kingdom is the first or the last. So what I'm showing you here is that these are the 9 phyla, and I wrote them as PCP name AC. Now, there's always a controversy between these two. Some textbooks believe that this comes before this. Some believe it comes either way. At higher level, I'll be able to exemplify that. But for simplicity at this level, we work with this. Alright? Now, the first phyla is Porifera. Mind you, as you move from here to here, there is difference, or sorry, there is change in what's it called? Complexity. For example, as from here to this place, we call them invertebrates. Only Kingdom Chordata has backbone. Phylum. Sorry to say that this phylum, most of them have backbone. Though at higher level, we can still cut some, but for this level, these ones are invertebrate. These phyla are invertebrate, but this only phylum can be said to be invertebrate. All right. So let's now start. It's an introductory class, anyways. So when I take each of them as a topic, you understand better. So Porifera, they are majorly aquatic organisms. Example is your sponges. Alright? They are sensile, they don't move. Sponges are examples of Porifera, they cannot move. They have to attach themselves to another organism to move around in the sea. Then we look at our Colentirata, otherwise called Nidaria. Example is your Hydra. Hydra, your jellyfish. This one is, we call them polyps, because it's cylindrical. We call this one Medusa, because it's umbrella shape. So that means your media is then into the polyps, then what, the Medusa. Why is it polyps? Because it's cylindrical in shape. Then this one is umbrella-like in shape. Alright? Then we look at our Platyhelminthes. They are flatworms. Some books call them flatworms. An example of your flatworm, because flatworm is not a general name. So it's not a specific, it's a general name. Because they are majorly flat in structure. Don't worry, when I treat them, each of them as a topic, you understand better. So they are flat in structure. An example of that is your Teniasolium, found in pigs. Teniasolium in pigs, then Tenia saginata, found in cow. I want to get that. So they are both flatworms and they are parasitic in nature. You now have your nematoda. These are roundworms. Now let me say something. These two are both roundworms, but there's a difference. This is a round, nematoda is a round, non-segmented worm. You can say non-segmented roundworm. What do I mean? Example is your Ascaris lubricoides. Ascaris lubricoides is found in humans. Alright? That is your nematoda. But your Annelida is also a roundworm, but segmented. What do I mean? So it is segmented round one. Take for example, it's also a round one, but it has segment. Example is your what? Your F1. It is round, it's segmented. So they are both round one, non-segmented, segmented. F1 leeches. Those are examples of what? Examples of round one Annelida. Now we look at our mollusca. They have something that looks like a head. Example is your octopus. That has tentacles. It has something like a head. So octopus. Your common example is your snail. Alright? They have something that looks like a big structure. Like a head. So that you can see your octopus, you have seen it before. Snail. Snail has a shell. Alright? With tentacles. Now, echinodermata. That's your starfish. Starfish. Alright? Then we now have the arthropoda. Arthropods, some live on land, some live on trees, some live on live in house, some live around us. So now this arthropoda is very into other classes, very into class insecta. As the name implies, insect. Bear in mind, anything called insect must have 3 pairs of legs. So your cockroach is an example of that. Your mosquito, your flies. Then also class Arachnida. Arachnida, people used to think, some people might think insect that spider is an insect. No, it's not. Why is it not an insect? Because it has 4 pairs of working legs, so it's an arachnid. So an arachnid will have 4 working legs, 4 on both sides, making 8. But this one is having just 3 on both sides. Secondly, every insect has 3 segments: head, thorax, abdomen. But for arachnida, they have 2 segments: cephalothorax and abdomen. Alright? Then we have your class Myriapoda, which is what divided into Diplopoda and Chilopoda. This Diplopoda establishes your millipede, and this Chilopoda establishes centipede. Now this Myriapoda means they have a very long segment. No head, no thorax, so to say. It's just a long segmented body. Now, this Diplopoda has, each segment has 2 working appendages per segment. 2 on the right, 2 on the left. But this one has just 1 on the right and on the left. That's just a basic difference in them. Then the last is the class Crustaceans, which is your crayfish, your crab, and the likes. Now, one thing you should know is that all these classes under Arthropoda can carry out what we call echidiasis, or what we call molting, or echidiasis, ECCDISIS, which means they can remove their whole skin. Alright? They can remove their whole skin and grow. Then the last phylum, which is what I represent with P, which one is in this following class? Param. Class Pisces, which are fishes. And these fishes can be 2 types: the ones that have cartilage and the ones that have what? They are bony. So, example of cartilaginous fishes, cartilaginous fishes are your shark, your ray fish. Then the bony fish is your tilapia. Alright? Then we have apes. No, not apes, I mean to say, that's a mistake. Amphibia. Amphibia. That example is the frogs, the toads. Then we have reptilia. The snakes. Then the apes, which are the birds. Chicken. Then we have the Mammalia, which have mammary gland, that's breast, have skin. That means they have sweat gland. Now, e.g., rats and the likes. Now, please pay attention here. To this place, they are called POT-UTME, which means they are what? Cold-blooded. From Pisces to reptilia, they go do something we call basking. They will come out to the sun. Alright? While these ones are called warm-blooded or homeothermic. This one they have a constant body temperature. But this one, when they want to get hot, they have to go to the sun to do that. That's why you see snakes come out in the afternoon to bask, B-A-S-K. That's what coming to gain heat. That's what lizard does in the morning. Lizard will come out in the morning to bask. That's number one. So it means PAR, Pisces, Amphibia, and Reptilia are cold-blooded or POT-UTME. While these are warm-blooded or homeothermic, and that is the same word. Secondly, pay attention. These, they are oviparous, they lay egg. Oviparous, they lay egg. While this is viviparous, it will give birth to its young one alive. Alright? So these first three, they lay egg. Most of them, they are feed or snort, but most of them lay egg. While this one, most of them give birth to their young ones alive. That's as viviparous. Alright? Then another thing is that this one has two chambers of heart, one auricle, one ventricle. This one has 3 chambers, 2 auricle, 1 ventricle. This one has 4 chambers. I'm talking about reptilia now. It has 4 chambers that are not completely divided. 2 auricles, 2 ventricles, not completely divided. But your apes and your mammalia have 4 complete chambers. Permit me to do it this way. 2 auricles, 2 ventricles that are completely divided. Alright? So please take note of these differences in them. Based on their temperature. The ones that are what? Homeothermic, which are just these 3. The ones that are warm-blooded, which are just these 2. And the ones that lays egg, 1, 2, 3, 4, they lay egg, oviparous. These ones also lay egg. Based on their heart, which one has the most complex heart? Is this 2 that has the most complex heart? Which one has the most simplest heart? It is this one. And I also asked that which of them exhibit single circulation. If you have seen my video on circulatory system, on nervous system, this is single circulation. Other ones are what? Double circulation. I believe with this you will be able to understand things the more. See you in the next video. Please feel free to ask your question. Thank you very much. God bless you.